I'm talking to myself because I've cried many nights and I wanted to give up. And I'm like, I can't give up. I have to keep going because somebody's watching me. Somebody is not just watching me, but somebody is learning from the mistakes that I'm making. Someone is actually encouraged by me pressing forward. Somebody is encouraged by me not giving up. I can't give up because God has placed me in a position of leadership. I can't give up. Hey everyone, this is your girl, Miss Truth, and welcome back to another episode of HerWay UnLocked. I'm your host and the founder of Finding You Sis, which is a sisterhood impact social. I'm so glad to be back here. It's been a while, y'all. It's been a while. And I know some of you all have been reaching out to me asking, when am I going to drop another episode? So guess what? Your girl is back. I am back. But we're going to go ahead and get right into tonight's episode because I have something that I want to share with you all. But before I get there, I want you all to do me a favor and make sure whatever platform you're on, you like, share this podcast with your friends, family. Let another woman hear what this is all about. And make sure if she has a story, let her know she could possibly be featured on the podcast. So make sure she connects with me or you connect with me at herwayunlocked.com and let me know if you'd like to be a feature. All right, you all. We're going to go ahead and get into tonight's episode because I'm so excited to be back. Before I get into the episode, there's a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. One is why I stepped away because I know I had a couple people reaching out to me like, girl, where are you at? And I want to say this for some people like myself and those who understand, you understand, it can be very discouraging sometimes when you're trying to push out content and you want it to be right. You're a perfectionist. And when things don't go right or go the way that you anticipated, sometimes you want to take a step back and just really reevaluate everything. And that's pretty much what I did. I took a few weeks and stepped away since the last episode. I really feel like I needed a break, even though I just started at the end of last year. And honestly, it was about perfection. When people like myself are perfectionists, we sometimes get in our own way. I want to take a moment to acknowledge that it was discouraging when I started having some audio issues. In my last episode, I had sis Minda Elisa on the platform. She did such an amazing job, just a natural, very humble spirited friend. Getting to know her and her music really inspired me so much, especially during those times of my life when I was really down and needed something to pick me back up. Her music has done that for me. If you all have an opportunity, make sure you go check out Minda Eliza. Anywhere you stream music, I'm sure you'll hear her. She's definitely an angel and light. And in this season of she's listening to the voice of God and walking in her purpose. Anyway, I had to take a step back and kind of figure out some things. And I had a couple people that really poured into me, encouraged me, and reminded me that everything doesn't have to be perfect. I understand that everything in life is not about perfection. It's all about progression. And so I have to keep reminding myself that I'm still in the building stages and I'm still getting used to this thing and it's going to be new. It may feel uncomfortable, at times, but at the end of the day, one of the things that I know for a fact is I'm never going to give up because I know where God has purposed me, what he's purposed me for, and also for what season. This is my season. And this is a season for me of rebuilding. I'm rebuilding in so many different ways. I just want to remind you all not to give up. Don't give up. Um, no matter what. Life may get hard, but don't give up. Right. We're going to go ahead and get into tonight's topic because I'm so excited about it. It's right in line with what I was talking about my transition, remembering who I am, right? Remembering the purpose that God has placed on my life. And I just want to talk about purpose tonight. And sometimes purpose is not lost. We just may get discouraged. We get discouraged along the way, and it happens. It happens to the best of them, right? So, what I want to do is I'm going to read a post that really really caught my attention and sparked this conversation. And I'm so excited because I was scrolling on social media and this particular topic came up on my feed. And I said, I definitely have to bring this to the Her Way Unlocked podcast. All right, sisters, I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So it's time for this unlocked reaction. And I got to shout out buildingher.co on Instagram for starting this conversation. So this post reads like this. It says, "Hey sis, purpose was never promised to be easy, but it is guaranteed to be worth it." I have to pause there for a moment because when it says purpose was never promised to be easy, see, a lot of times we think that if it's in line, if it's God, it's going to be so smooth. Everything is supposed to be easy. It's going to go by. It's going to be perfect. The building phase is going to be, everything's going to be perfect. But it's not guaranteed to be perfect. She said it right, or he said it right. Buildingher.co said it right. It is not guaranteed to be, it's not perfect. Purpose was not promised to be easy, but it is guaranteed to be worth it. And I could actually attest to that too, because even though it's not easy, in the end, when you look at life, when you get to the end of everything, you realize, wow, everything was actually worth it. It was a struggle. It may have been hard, but it was really worth it in the end. So then it goes on to say, tear every moment of not yet, and every time you wanted to quit. These experiences are nurturing something special within you. Let me say that again. Every tear, every moment of not yet, and every time you wanted to quit. These experiences are nurturing something special within you. Do you know how many times I tried to quit things and it just kept coming back in my spirit because I knew that was a part of my purpose. It was part of the plan that God had for me in my life. I couldn't give up. I may have got discouraged along the way and wanted to quit and stop for just a moment, but I can't quit. And sometimes in that season, in those tears, in those moments, and you're like, okay, not yet, maybe not the growth, and you may not be seeing the growth that you want to see in your business, not yet. You may not be able to seeing the growth in your ministry, not yet. You may not be seeing the growth in your personal life, in your relationships, not yet. But every time you nurture something within you is being nurtured. It's something special. But remember, every moment is special and it's worth it in the end. So those tears that you're crying now, in the end, they're going to be worth it. Every last one of them. And I know that I'm talking to myself because I've cried many nights and I wanted to give up. And I'm like, I can't give up. I have to keep going because somebody's watching me. Somebody is not just watching me, but somebody is learning from the mistakes that I'm making. Someone is actually encouraged by me pressing forward. Somebody is encouraged by me not giving up. I can't give up because God has placed me in a position of leadership. I can't give up. So although I may have wanted to quit, I can't. These are just hard moments, hard times. He never said it was going to be easy, but I'm going to get through it and it's going to be worth it in the end. All right, let me get back to it. It says, you weren't just called, you were called to make an impact. Let me read that again. It says, you weren't just called, you were called to make an impact. Y'all, do you know the name of my sister circle is Finding You Sis? The S.I.S stands for Sisterhood Impact Social. Sisterhood Impact Social. This says, you weren't just called, you were called to make an impact. When I read this, I said, okay, Lord, this is for me. The words in this message is for me. And I don't know who else this is for, whoever's listening to this, but I knew this was for me because I know that I'm not just called. I know I'm called to make an impact in so many women's lives. That is the purpose. That is why God created me. That is why He put in me the dream, the vision, because it's not for just me, it's to impact so many lives, the lives of every sister that I'm going to come in contact with. Let me get back to the reading. It says, and sister, you are doing more than you realize. It says, and sister, you are doing more than you realize. You know, my sister April just said, you are doing more than what you think. So many times when you're building something, you may think that you're not doing enough because you cannot see the impact right now. So for me, there's times that I've gotten discouraged because in this phase of building this sisterhood, I just feel like sometimes it's just not enough. Maybe because of the reaction of the people, I'm not seeing where I know God is going to take this circle to, this sisterhood to. I'm not seeing the end of the tunnel. And so I feel like maybe I'm just not doing enough. Maybe there's just not enough. But she reminded me the other day that I'm actually doing more than what I realize. I'm making an impact in so many women's lives. And that's enough. Okay, let me read some more. This post also said, remember the journey is just as important as the destination. Remember the journey is just as important as the destination. See, a lot of times we just want to get to the destination. I know I do. I just want to get there because I know I'm so excited. I just want to get there. I just want to get there. I just want to get there. But not knowing that that journey, sometimes there's going to be some heartache along the way. There may be some times where I may have to cry. There may be some times I may have to crawl. There may be some times I may have to get someone to hold me up because I need a little bit of strength and I need a little bit more support and I may need a little bit more encouragement, but I can't give up. I can't give up because it's all a part of the journey. And someone is relying on my journey. So I have to remind myself that this journey is important. It's just as important as the destination. This is good. Okay. Next part. It says celebrate the small victories and embrace the challenges as they arise. Celebrate the small victories and embrace the challenges as they arise. See, we've had some challenges in the building phase of building my sister circle. There's been a couple challenges. I've even had to go back to the drawing board and start over in some instances. But I kept telling myself, this is for a greater impact. This is for a greater impact. This is to impact so many women's lives, so many sisters' lives. So I can't give up. Okay. So getting back to the reading, it says, as they celebrate the small victories and embrace the challenges as they arise, as they are shaping you into the person you are meant to be, as they are shaping you into the person you are meant to be. So what I've told myself just by reading this, I said, I'm going to continue celebrating every win. I'm going to continue embracing every challenge as it comes in front of me because I know that once I get to my destination, we're going to celebrate. We're going to continue celebrating even along the way because we're going to celebrate those small wins. But when I get to that destination, I know for a fact when I see the amount of lives that are getting ready to be changed, the lives that are already being changed through the vision that God has given me, I'm going to continue going forth. And I know for a fact that God is shaping me into the person that He has called me to be. Who is God shaping you to be? Who has God called you to be? Are you walking in your purpose? Do you know what you were created for? Take a moment to share with me. I don't care what platform you are on. Let me know. If you know who what your purpose for, what you are purposed for, what God has created you to be, I want you to share it with me. It could be a small clip. Send it to me. I may be able to feature you in our next episode. So I want you all to take a moment to send me your feedback. I want to see if this is impacting your life. I have another question for you. Have you ever questioned your purpose when something didn't go as planned? Because I know that's been me. I've questioned my purpose at times. I'm asking you this one. Have you ever questioned your purpose when something did not go as planned? I want you to think about that also for a moment. Because remember, building is not always easy. Sometimes in the building phases, there's going to be a lot of not yets. But trust me, you're going to see light at the end of the tunnel. I want to take a moment to encourage someone today as I'm closing. You may feel discouraged. You may be building something that's passionate of yours. Maybe it's a new business idea that God has given you. Maybe it's your passion, your purpose is something that comes easy for you, something natural. Maybe you're thinking that maybe you'll go back to school because you love school, or maybe you love helping people. Maybe you have a change of career, whatever that looks like for you. I want to remind you in your building season or rebuilding season not to give up. It's easy to get discouraged along the way, but trust me, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It may not be easy. It may not feel good. It may be uncomfortable at times, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. You are going to get to your destination. I speak it into existence. Let's celebrate it because if God gave it to you, He's going to get you through it. All right, you all. I thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. As I'm closing this episode, I want you to do me a favor. Make sure you share this episode with another woman who may need to hear it. And I want to also remind you to stay connected. You can check us out at HerWay UnLocked. Check out some of my other episodes that you may have missed and make sure you invite someone else to do the same. I love you. Until next time, have a great night.
Locked in, locked in, locked in, locked in. Welcome to Way Unlocked. No way less. Unapologetically sharing her voice, her journey, her journey.